So today marks my first year anniversary of being on YouTube, of creating the channel. Well, not being on YouTube. I've been on YouTube for a long time. I think I've been on YouTube since the starting year of YouTube, which I think was in 2005. I believe I was like, I was watching YouTube within 2005, so I was like 15 at the time. But no, this is my first year anniversary for the Body Odor Sufferers channel, so that's cool, that's great. I do want to get it through a lot of stuff because I do want to talk about, this is going to be a very long vlog because I usually put them less than 20 minutes. This is going to be a long one, a lengthy one. I already know because there's a lot to talk about. And a lot to talk about within the first year anniversary, but I want to just cover all the things people always ask me. First, so people are always going to ask me about how bad I smell. Do I still smell? Do I have a noticeable difference? Do I smell anymore? I'm going to answer that, but first, before I do that, I do want to say last week was the first week I drank homemade kefir. So technically, so what was that? What was last week? What was the start of last week on a Monday? The start of last week was the 11th of November, and today is November 18th. So this was the first day of drinking. Last week was the first week of drinking homemade kefir instead of just drinking Lifeway kefir. I would usually just drink the unflavored Lifeway kefir, and I would drink a cup a day every day. And technically today is the 38th day of me drinking kefir, the 31st day of me drinking kombucha, and this is the 9th day of me drinking homemade kombucha, and the 8th day of me drinking homemade kefir. So basically 30 days I was just drinking Lifeway kefir, and then now like 8 days I've been drinking just the homemade kefir. I actually have it with me. I have it with me right here, you see. It has already been fermented, but now this is on the second fermentation. It's not, so I just have to wait another day for it to be fermented a second time. And I think, yeah, I heard like second fermentation makes it a little bit more, have more probiotics or something. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I've heard it's good. It's good for your gut when you have a second fermentation as opposed to just one fermentation. So anyways, this is the first week I had the drinking this homemade kefir, and I've heard a couple of people say that they had worse reactions when drinking kefir. So I really wanted to see if that would be the same reaction with me. Like, would I get bad reactions when I have to go out? So I made it a mission to actually go out to the mall a second time, but I had to go out on a Saturday. So from 11th to the 11th to the 14th, I actually went outside and went to grocery shopping. I went to Publix. So when I went to Publix, I really wanted to see if I would get any bad reactions. And for some reason, there were a little bit more people within that Publix than it was last time. And when I like walked past people, I didn't hear anybody hold their nose or do hold their breath, or blow out their nose. However, I did feel like people were acting weird around me. But I was like, whatever. If I don't actually see any visible reactions, I'm not going to assume that I smell bad. However, so once I finished getting all my groceries, I went to Publix and I went to the 10 items or less register. And when I was going into the register, there was like a black dude, a young black dude that had like just a milk in his hand. And then he decided for some reason to leave to actually get something else. I guess I'm assuming he was trying to get something else. So I stood in front, so I was like the second person waiting in line. And a couple of minutes later, there was like a lady that was actually going to go into this register as well. So she was about to come in back of me, but she stopped for a moment, and then she went the other way and went to another register. So I was like, wow, that's sort of weird, right? So not only that, the black dude that I was talking about earlier, who was actually in the 10 items or less register, but it seemed like he was going to get something, he also went to a different register. So nobody was standing in back of me. And once I looked to the left and I saw like the black lady went to just a different register, and I saw like the black dude went to a different register. I'm like, why would they do that, right? So now my mind's like, okay, maybe this is a sign. However, but when I actually like was at the cash register, or I was talking, or I was with the cashier, I didn't see any visible reactions to her. In addition to that, like later on when my bags were almost packed, there was somebody that came in back of me. So then I'm like, okay, maybe there was just something wrong. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe they just wanted to go to this register. But realistically, me being paranoid and me being super observant about things, I'm naturally going to think to myself, okay, this is clearly a sign that I smell bad. But I was like, you know, let me test it more. Once it happens once a Saturday arrives and I'm free, I'm going to go to the mall. So I went to the mall, but I went to a different mall on a Saturday. And this mall is like 5 minutes away from the previous mall I went to. So last time I said, when I went to the mall, the other mall, I said, I feel like there was a noticeable difference because there was less reactions, but there was a percentage of moments where I saw people react in a certain way. I got to tell you, within this moment when I went to the different mall, which was less people, it was a smaller mall and had less people, I had way more noticeable reactions going to that mall than the previous mall, which makes me feel like this camper shit ain't working. This camper shit ain't working. Now, at the same time, like, I'm using like I'm not using organic whole milk. I'm using regular pasteurized whole milk. So maybe if I actually went to, oh, and there was another thing. A lot of people were saying when I made a vlog about a topic about milk, what type of milk you use, a lot of people were like, oh, you go to Trader Joe's, have you went to Sprouts? I'm like, I have never heard of these places, and these places do not exist in my area, right? And then somebody's like, oh, go to your local farm, you know, natural farm store. I'm like, I don't, that doesn't exist in my area. The only thing that exists is like a Whole Foods, and technically a Whole Foods is like 17 minutes away. So I'm thinking about buying organic raw milk and seeing if there's going to be a difference. But ultimately, I had worse reactions. I had noticeable worse reactions. I had more visible reactions of rubbing noses and people holding their nose. I went to several places. Only went to like 4 places. So the first place I went to was like Hollister. And I was just like, you know, I was acting like I was shopping around. I actually wanted to shop for something on that particular date. I wanted to buy some sweaters because I wanted to get some exercise clothes, more exercise clothes. So I was trying to find like a cheap sweater that was under $30. So I went into Hollister, and yeah, I was looking around. I didn't really get anything. I didn't see anything. So then I left, and then I went into Champ Sports. And Champ Sports is a store that has, yeah, it has gear. It has like sweaters. It has like workout shorts. It has, you know, shoes and shit. And I went into the store, and there was this black, I don't know if she was black. Let's say she was mulatto. I guess she was like black, Hispanic. I don't know if she was. This mulatto one, right? And I was like, hey, is there any type of sweaters under $30? And when I was trying to talk to her, I noticed that she was keeping her distance from me. And she was like pointing me to her like some sweaters that were like under $20, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And like she was always keeping a distance from me, but I'm like, maybe I'm just being paranoid, right? But as I purchased, I was like, let me just buy this $20 sweater that I can use for, you know, exercising. And I was walking toward the register. There was 2 people there. There was like a white dude with dreads, and then there was like the mulatto woman who had like a stack full of like shoes and shit. And then once she saw me, she was like, oh, I had to take a bathroom break. So then she leaves. And the reason why she left was because like the dude with the dreads was already working in the cash register with two customers. So that means she would have to actually work with me to, you know, purchase the sweater. So she left, right? And then once the white dude with the dreads was finished servicing the 2 customers, now he had to service me. And when I was talking to him, he was trying to make small talk and shit. And I noticed that he rubbed his nose like 2 times, just 2 times within like maybe 2 minutes. And there was like also some old white lady that was sitting right next, or was like standing right next to me. and she was giving me this weird look. Weird look. Like I was like, I don't know. She was just like, give me like a, I don't know. It was just a weird look. It wasn't like a look of disgust. It was just like, it was just an odd like stare that she gave me. So that made me feel like, that's weird. But I'm like, you just play it off. Just act perfectly normal because I can't smell shit, right? But after I got my, I purchased my sweater and I left, that made me feel uncomfortable. That made me like, maybe there's something there. So then I was like, okay, I gotta continue to explore. So I was like, let me go to a Macy's, right? So I go to a Macy's, and I noticed that this Macy's had no men's anything within this Macy's. For some reason, within this mall, there's two Macy's, and one is for men's and one is for women's, and they're both all the way, they're all the way past each other. One is on the other end, one's all the way to the left, one's all the way to the right end, and it's like, that's fucking stupid, but okay, fine, whatever. So I'm going into this women's Macy's. I didn't know this at the time, so I'm going into this Macy's store trying to look for a men's section, and then ask, possibly ask any type of employee about sizes, about sweaters that are under $30, just to see if I can give off reaction, and also possibly buy another sweater. But as I was walking around, I didn't really feel like I smelled bad until I went up the escalator to go to the second floor. And if you ever went to a Macy's, there's an escalator that goes up, and right next to it there's an escalator that goes down, right? So I'm going up the escalator, and while I'm going up the escalator, there's people coming down, and there was like this old white lady that was going down. And while I was going up the escalator, I saw her do this. I saw her hold her nose for at least like 3 seconds until I wasn't like around her anymore, and then she just released her nose. And once I saw that shit, I was like, oh shit. I don't think that was a fucking coincidence. Once I started to notice that, I started to get really like nervous and got anxiety, but I'm like, but I don't understand. So I leave out the Macy's. And then I go to one more store. I go to GameStop. I go to a GameStop, and I'm like, yeah, I just want to look at some 3DS games. And I just look at them for a little bit, and then I walk up to the store, to the counter, and there's already a customer there. And while I walk up next to the counter, right next to the customer, and there was already some like employee at the cash register, they acted weird. They it's like when I moved into their presence, they reacted a way, but it was like a subtle way. It was subtle to the point I noticed it, but it's like hard to actually describe. It was like I just knew something was up. You know what I mean? Like, it's like when I walked up there, right next to the presence of the other customer and the cash register guy, like they acted in a certain way, but it was very subtle. It was very subtle, but it made me say, I don't know. And then when I left out the GameStop, and I just decided to turn back around, I started to see those two employees stare at me, and they were talking with each other about something, but they were staring directly at me. So this made me say, okay, there must be something wrong with me or some shit. And I don't know if it was the kefir that's not working, that's making me smell worse, because when I drink the kefir, it's not like the taste is enjoyable. It's not like the smell is enjoyable. It's like the smell it has a funky sour smell to it. Like, I don't know about your kefirs, but my kefirs has a funky sour smell to it. So I'm thinking to myself, if I'm drinking this funky sour drink, I'm pretty sure this is going to emit this funky sour smell from my body. I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing the kefir right, but I don't know. I just felt like when I did that stuff, when I went to the second store, when I went to the mall, I got worse reactions, which made me say, damn, let me get the fuck out of here, right? And it's like, it makes me think to myself, I guess I'm repeating myself, maybe it has to do with the raw milk. Maybe it's because I'm not using raw organic milk, but at the same time, I feel like I'm probably going to smell worse if I drink it. I don't know, man. It's just really hard to predict or to understand what's going on. So that's why I'm really considering going to a gym. I know there's like a LA Fitness 15 minutes away from my location, so I'm thinking about going to a gym. Going to that gym every other day and working out, because I know I smell worse when I work out. In addition to that, I do want to say that when I started, I noticed that when I started to sweat more, like my back was sweating a little bit, my armpits were sweating, my butt was sweating a little bit because I was like walking around and I was getting nervous and getting anxiety because I started to see little instances of people reacting in a certain way. I start to see more and more reactions start to happen. For example, like after I was trying to leave, I was like, let me get the fuck out of here. I passed by this black couple, and this was a black dude had a stroller, like had his stroller, and I decided, for some reason, to look back, and when I looked back, the black couple paused, like stood still, and I feel like I read his lips, and he said, "Did you smell that?" And then they looked back at me, and then once I saw them look back at me, I looked I looked back in the front and continued to walk. So I'm like, okay, confirmed, I smell bad. And at the same time, it made me feel so like, it made me feel like so defeated. It made me feel so defeated because I'm like, damn, I've been doing this shit for at least like 30 days, and I still have this reaction from people, and it just pissed me off. It made me be like, damn, what the fuck? So much to the point that I just went to fucking Subway and just bought a 6-foot-long Italian BMT and ate that shit, and it tasted good. Like, when you feel defeated, when you feel sad or you get stressed out or some shit, you're like, man, fuck this shit, I'm just gonna eat whatever the fuck I want. So I ate like an Italian BMT. Oh man, Subway sandwiches taste good. But yeah, that's pretty much what happened. That's pretty much what's happening. I think I'm gonna still try to get the homemade kefir because I've heard a lot of good things about drinking kefir milk. So maybe if I just continue to drink it over time, I'm not gonna smell bad. And I've also been thinking about, I've been recording the foods I eat every day, but at the same time, I think now I should make it even more detailed. I think I should try to measure the amount of measure the amount of food I'm eating. For example, like I eat rice a lot. I'm thinking to myself, maybe I should measure the amount of rice I'm eating. Like if am I eating 2 cups of rice? And not only that, have like details of like how much choline would that be when I eat 2 cups of white rice or brown rice or whatever. I know it's going to be really hard because for me, if I like have a veggie smoothie, and my veggie smoothie has like a lot of shit. It has like celery, spinach, blueberries, olive oil. I also have like protein powder. Hold up. I bought this protein powder from Amazon. It was like $14.99, but with tax is like $20-something. And for like 8, if you can see the structures, basically it says here like 1 tablespoon is like 8 grams of protein. So if I put like 3 tablespoons, I have like 24 grams of protein. I think that's pretty good. I was thinking about mixing it with the kefir because I know they make like 8 grams. So that'll be like 32 grams of protein because I'm also trying to, like, I don't know, get more protein in my diet because I don't really eat that much meat. That's another thing I don't do. I don't really eat that much meat in my diet. So I'm thinking about making a detailed thing where I have the measurements of the amount of food I'm eating and the possible amount of choline that will be in there. So then once I start really like recording the type of food I'm eating, maybe I'll move closer into that shit. Maybe I'll move closer into figuring out what is the best type of diet to eat and try to eat that way, the same way for like 21 days and see if there's a difference. Another thing, I bottled my second batch of kombucha. So that's good. And I wanted to say this too. I noticed, I talk about this warm sensation on my back. And I think this is indicative of me smelling bad. I think this is indicative of me. This is like a telltale sign that I smell bad. If I have any type of warm sensation on my body, I feel like that's going to be the telltale sign that I smell bad. And if I have this, because sometimes it's not even on my neck. Like I said, sometimes it's on my chest. I remember sometimes it was like on my upper abdomen or on my butt area. Or sometimes when I sleep and I wake up, I still feel like sweaty. I feel like there's like sweat. It's not like a lot of sweat, but just like I just feel moist. I feel moist on like on my back or something, or on my legs. My legs feel like a little wet or something. So I guess I was sweating during sleep. I feel like if I have those types of signs where I feel I feel moist when I wake up, or I feel like I feel heat or a warm sensation on my body, I'm gonna naturally think I smell bad, because I can't smell myself. So I'm just going to go off of those types of things now, because there's no other reason. There's no other rhyme or reason why I would have this warm sensation. I was like, I looked up on Google like, oh, warm sensation on my neck, and all I got was like Google results for like hot flashes for women over the age of 40 or some shit. And I don't know if I'm getting hot flashes, but it feels damn near feels like it, you know. So yeah, I'm just going to assume that that is just like a sign of gas emitting from my body, and therefore I'm going to smell bad. So if I don't feel this warm sensation on my body, I'm going to think that there's going to be less instances of odor. Another thing I wanted to say is I'm probably not going to do Friday night hangouts anymore. The reason for that is, well, my work schedule. With my work schedule, so I had training for 4 weeks for working as a customer representative for Ancestry.com, and the schedule was from Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So last week I officially ended that training. I'm done with training, and now I'm doing calls for real. And my actual first day was yesterday on a Sunday. We had to work from 2:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. And now I'm working from Sunday. I'm working all week except on a Wednesday and a Saturday. And I'm working from 2:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. So throughout all of just the afternoon, I'm not going to be able to do Friday night hangouts, or Friday night interviews, because I'm going to be working from, I usually do my interviews at 9 p.m. I can't do that shit anymore, and I honestly don't want to do it on a Saturday, to be honest. I like 2 days off, and with those 2 days off, I just want to just focus on studying more and more for the CDL, which is so funny because I remember talking about the CDL like maybe a month or so ago, and I think people think like by now, like you should have done it by now. And honestly, it's so funny. I just stumbled upon a lot of information on the internet. I was like reading, what I was doing before was I just read this handbook. Let me try to get the handbook out. I was reading the CDL handbook that people say you got to read this handbook. But what I started to find out is that there's so much information on the internet. There's like flashcards of questions that are going to possibly be on the CDL general knowledge test, and I didn't know that. And now that I know that, I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should have studied with that way. And there's so much like free videos on YouTube where they have instructions, or they have demonstrations of how to do the CDL tests and stuff like that. Because okay, there's a general knowledge test. When you pass the general knowledge test in the DMV, you get a learner's permit. And when you get a learner's permit, you have the ability to go to the training school, I believe. And when you go to the training school, they'll teach you how to do certain things that you need to do in order to pass a test. Because there's like 3 different tests you have to pass if you're going to get your CDL. You have to do the pre-inspection test, where you're supposed to go around the whole vehicle and check every component of that truck, and check if it's secure, if it's not broken, if there's no cuts. So you have to like look into the side of the vehicle, you got to look into the front, the engine of the vehicle, you have to get inside the vehicle, you have to test if the air pressure is okay, if the brake pedal's okay, and you have to like name every component within the vehicle to say if it's safe and secure to drive the vehicle. That's the first test, and there's a lot of components within the truck in itself. The second test is to actually back into you have to do parking, and you have to do parallel parking, and you have to do like backwards parking. So you have to do So imagine driving this like 10k pound or 20k pound vehicle, trying to back it up into a specific spot. You have to pass that and not crash into anything. And it's so funny because I can't even do that with my own fucking vehicle. Parallel park in my own fucking vehicle. I remember there would be certain spots when I would drive around for some place, I don't know, and I would see a parallel parking spot, and I just look at that motherfucker. There'll already be like two spaces or two vehicles already filled, but there'll be that one parking space that I could parallel park into. But I'm like, nah, fuck all that shit. I'm not gonna get a heart attack and possibly ruin my vehicle. But so I have to pass a parallel parking thing and backwards parking, and that's the second test. And then the third test is the road test. And then so there's like 3 tests you have to pass in order to get a CDL license. And right now I'm just trying to just do the general knowledge. Like, here's the thing. Let me actually show you. Is this it? Is this how I do it? Is this how I do it? No, I think this is, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. So this is what you basically got to do. So you have to do straight line backing, offset back right, offset back left, and then you have to parallel park into this this zone with cones and stuff like that. And then after that, you got to do a driving test. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. So yeah, that's a lot. I didn't want to make that 20 minutes long because actually, technically, I wanted to say all that stuff because this is going to be a long vlog. So I said all that stuff. Now I want to talk about first year anniversary. So I believe I had created my channel. My first video was in November 18th, 2018. My first vlog, November 18th, 2018. And let me see here. Let me go to my channel here. Let me go to my channel. See what's going on here. So let me see. November 18, 2000. Let me go by the oldest. So let me see this one. Hello? Oh, it was November 19th, 2000. And honestly, if I go to about, yeah, okay, yeah, join November 18, 2018. Yes, so this is the first year anniversary. So if I go to videos again, I go to oldest. Let's see here. So yeah, man, like, let me see if I can do triple. Yeah, cool. So my first vlog was on the 19th. That's so funny. And I guess, like, I should explain a little bit what was happening at the time. Like, so on November, at the time, well, at least a couple of weeks back, I was really thinking about creating my own vlog. Oh shit. I was thinking about creating my own vlog because I was thinking to myself, like, I remember seeing, like, let me say, take a couple steps back. Like late October, I started to realize that my odor was coming back because, like, in 2015, I think I significantly reduced the odor to the point where I was able to live a normal life, or just be worry free from odor. But at the same time, I also think I was a little bit delusional too, because I thought to myself, okay, I beat this shit. I'm never gonna have to deal with this shit ever again. So I don't know if 2018 was the time where I stopped smelling bad, because I do recall, like, in 2017 there was moments where I was like, oh no, but I smell bad. But since I was sort of like delusional and just believed to myself, like, there's no way I have this odor condition, I continued to work forward. But like definitely within the late October, I started to realize, man, I'm getting really bad reactions. I'm hearing people say I smell like shit. So what do? I go on the internet. And I was looking at a lot of videos I was looking at a lot of videos. Some of these videos were like what's his name? T-Mal Up. I think, was T-Mal Up the first video I saw? No, the first video I saw that was T-Mal related was Ron Washington. I'm subscribed to him. And then I saw T-Mal Up. Then I saw like Shelly Ballard. Then I saw Kelly T-Mal Sufferer. And this is the thing about Kelly T-Mal Sufferer. I noticed that, well, not only with Ron Washington and other videos like that, but Kelly T-Mal Sufferer had like T-Mal vlogs. You see, Kelly T-Mal Sufferer had like T-Mal vlogs, and I remember watching them and hearing them. I remember when I would watch them, I feel better. I would feel better because I hear what they're talking about. I mean, I could relate to what she was saying, and it made me feel like I was less lonely. In addition to that, like with T-Mal Up, he was making like podcasts where he would like try to get people on who had these similar conditions. I think they would just talk about, you know, just life in general and stuff like that, just hang out. And I remember watching those videos. I would watch those videos at work. When I was working for G6 Management, I would watch those videos at work. And listening to that shit made me feel better. It made me feel like, I don't know, it just made me feel like, damn, I'm not doing this shit alone. You feel me? Like, I felt like, damn, like, I don't know, there's something, I don't know, it just felt, I don't want to say it felt like there was a community. It felt like, yeah, I just felt like I wasn't doing it alone, you know? And that made me feel good. But I noticed with the Kelly T-Mal Sufferer channel, and with T-Mal Up channel, like the day I actually found out about it and subscribed to it, I found out he didn't make videos in less than like 4 months, in a 4-month time span. So then I'm like, damn, that's fucked up, because I really like those videos, right? And I thought to myself, maybe I should make a channel. And I was thinking to myself, I don't know how to do hangouts and shit like that, but maybe I can just do like little vlogs, just like she did, but just constantly make vlogs and update my life, because just like I felt better listening to her speak about, you know, what she was dealing with, or, you know, how she felt about things. Maybe I should also contribute to this, like, I guess I could call it community, but yeah, whatever you want to call it. Because I thought to myself, this was amazing that there was way more people that are talking about T-Mal or talking about having this odor condition than it was the last time I ever checked for T-Mal in YouTube. I think the last time I ever checked for T-Mal on YouTube was like in like 2011 or 2010, and there was only like a few videos. There was like maybe 3 or so, right? And I know one of them was like California Roll Sushi, and I'm subscribed to her too, but I think she took down her original channel because it says California Roll Sushi 3, and I think it was a different one. And I know there was one like in 2010 or 2013, somewhere early 2010s, and it was present, and she was talking about her life, and that made me feel better. So dealing with going back to work and having anxiety and having to deal with like my boss's wife and his son were trying to get me fired. Like hearing like people talk about their lives, hearing people, you know, watching some podcasts from T-Mal Up made me feel like, okay, I can do this shit. You dig? Like I felt like I can do this shit. I can figure something out. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to say that. I wanted to say like Kelly T-Mal Sufferer and T-Mal Up was like the 2 biggest inspirations, and Ron Washington too, because he was telling his life story, was 3 biggest inspirations for me to start the channel. And so on like November 18th, I created the channel. And I just started like making vlogs about my life because I couldn't think of anything else to talk about, actually. I couldn't think of anything else to talk about except my life, and I wasn't really I didn't know what else to talk about or what else other content I should make. So if you look at if you just look at all my videos, my first 20 videos, it's just me talking about my life. So like within November 18th, you know, I was still working for G6 management. On Thanksgiving Day, I decided not to go. My brother actually came down, which was surprising because he would never come down. He's always like in Kentucky or some bullshit. So he came down. What is this? JL commented, "You make me laugh so hard." Well, thank you, JL. So that was, I just didn't want to go. And then like a couple of days later, my cat died. Oh my god, can't believe my fucking cat died. Then what else? What happened on December? I think, when was this? Maybe I should go all the way. Maybe I should go into my studio to see the proper dates of my videos. I wonder if I can filter this down. No, I can't. Let me go all the way to the back here. Is that gonna take a long time? Oh man, this is gonna take a long time. This is gonna take I only have 111 videos. Alright, so okay. So when was December? What was happening in December? Do you do anything on the weekends? Okay, so yes, Body Odor Vlog 10 was... No, the first one was on the 9th. It was Body Odor Vlog. This odor thing is weird. So I was still working for G6 management. And then I started like trying to make topics. This is the time I was trying to make topics. And then I made like a video about like body odor support groups I visited. I'm trying to think what else was happening on December. On December, I was really thinking about leaving. I was really thinking about leaving my job at G6 management because, again, like I was saying, like it was really stressful. It was really, really stressful. There was times where my boss wouldn't even come into the same room as me. He wouldn't even come into the same room as me. And there would be times where if I try to go outside just to eat and stuff, like I would get stressed out that way too. Yeah, and I couldn't really figure out what I should be eating at the time. I was thinking about just eating only just like apples, oranges, and like sweet potatoes because I felt like, okay, all these foods are not going to make me smell bad, even though I still got reactions. So it was a very difficult time because I didn't know what to do at the moment. Also within the month of December, I'm looking at this stuff. What did I do? I'd be moving out of Miami. Oh yeah, I was trying to find other job opportunities within Miami, or you know, within web relating things, because I was only getting paid like $12.50 an hour. I was only getting paid $12.50 an hour for G6 management, and also, so that's, if anybody doesn't know, that's extremely fucking low. That's extremely fucking low. So I was trying to find I was applying to other jobs. And I found this opportunity from a company called Reviture, where they're like, oh yeah, so what we'll do is we'll fly you out to, no, you have to go to Orlando, and we're going to have like this training course for 8 weeks. And within these 8 weeks, if you complete the whole thing, we are going to send you to a company where you'll work under that company for 1 to 2 years, and then after that you can go wherever you want. And I was about to go there, but I decided not to go because as I continued to listen to more and more about Reviture, I was doing some research into it. I found out like there were certain people that were not recommending it because they were saying that they can release you over anything if they don't like how groomed you are, or if they don't like certain things about you, they can just release you. And if they release you, that means you owe a debt to them, and that debt is over $50,000. So then once I think I realized that shit, when did I realize that shit? Hold up. I realized that shit, fuck. Now I have to go back to this because I really hate going to the YouTube studio thing. I'm like making a big situation. I'm going back to my original YouTube channel, as opposed to YouTube Studio. So let me see. Let me go back to oldest. So, oldest. So I started to realize that shit on Body Odor vlog number 16. Body Odor vlog number 16. I started to realize that there's no such thing as free lunch. When I would basically say, like, there was some extra baggage to this Ravager plan that they just didn't disclose. That I had to figure out. That I had to figure out on the internet, that people were saying, "Oh man, don't go to Ravager, bro, because there's a lot of stuff you have to do." Not only that, like in the month of December, I was like I knew that my camera was sort of trash, so I tried to buy a new camera, but this camera was trash too. So then I bought a new camera, and this is like the Body Odor vlog number 17. This is when you see the difference in the camera footage. What else happened? So this was probably in December. All this was happening in December, and yeah, I was just thinking to myself, I need to figure out a way to make money online. That's when that came out, and this is like one of my highest videos topic. Fecal body odor sufferers. Is making money online our only option? Okay, I'm here. This is so funny. I got 2 dislikes. Oh man, what the fuck? Wow, I got a lot of comments. Have you ever tried fecal microbiome transplantation? I'm thinking of it. I believe I have an overgrowth bacteria in my intestines. This is interesting. So where am I at now? So 10 months ago. Okay, cool. So now I'm like trying to think of like goals. Oh, okay, so this has to be like in the month of January. And in the month of January, this is when I started to think to myself, I want to actually contribute to this, I guess, community. I keep saying community, but it always sounds cheesy when you say community. I want to contribute to this community. But I thought to myself, I wanted to create more. I want to create interviews. I saw that like LMAO would do like his hangouts and stuff like that. But I wanted to do a live stream too. But I wanted to do something where the live stream was just talking about their lives. And my logic behind it was, if there was a large amount of people talking about this condition, talking about how doctors are ignoring them, or they say they can't smell anything, or we all have this similar pattern, we're going to have proof that there's something that's happening. There's something fishy that's going on, and it might be our body odor, and even though you can't detect it, there's something happening, and we need to figure this shit out. So I decided, yeah, I think I want to create an interview, but have a live stream where they just talk about their lives, talk about where they're from, so possibly they could do meetups, possibly talk about like the food they're eating, if they controlled it, what methods they use to control it, so on and so forth. This was the time where I was really thinking about all that type of stuff. So within the month of January, I made this video right here. I think this is in January. Yeah, this is in January 6th. I was like, I want to interview LMAO, PAT, and fecal body odor sufferers. This is pretty cool. I had a number of people that responded, and that was awesome. And the first live stream I had, I forgot his name, but it was supposed to happen, what was this day? The first live stream, the first person that said, I want to do an interview. This happened on the 11th, but his ass didn't show up at all. But then, like a week later, I think, oh my God. So after this day, matter of fact, I think it's on the same day I was supposed to do my first interview was the same day I actually quit my job. I quit my job from G6 Management because at the same time, oops, let me go back to here. Because at the same time, like, I gotta tell you, like, I would overhear, you know, his wife or the boss's wife and the son being loud and making arguments of wanting to get me fired. You feel me? And some people say, man, I would have still stayed in that motherfucker. But it's like, first off, I'm getting ripped off from working at the job. I know I should get paid more. Secondly, I'm driving an hour to work. I'm driving an hour to work just for an underpaid job. Third of all, I'm not being recognized for the work I'm contributing to. Fourth of all, is like if people keep saying that they want you fired, or they're trying to figure out reasons to get you fired, and you think that you can find a better opportunity, then why work here anymore? You know what I mean? Like it just stopped becoming less. It didn't make any more sense to stay there anymore. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the back of my mind, it's like, bro, okay, I have about like 6 months of experience. It's not a lot, but I'm pretty sure now it's going to probably be a lot easier to get a job. So that's what I was thinking in my head. So that day, the first day, I was doing an interview, but he didn't show up because, like, I just don't feel comfortable or whatever the fuck he said. I actually quit my job. And then the following week was the first successful interview. And that was with, let's see here. That was with Ben. And that shit has like 1.6. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's not a lot in terms of like YouTube stuff, but that's still a lot in terms of my, that's a lot in terms of my YouTube shit. And I had so many comments from it. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm thinking to myself, this is amazing. So then after that, I started to try to make more videos about articles I read. I started to try to do more topics. What else happened? This is okay. So then it was Bruce Leroy. It had 1.4. That's amazing. And then after that was Ant, and he was the first one. He was talking about like halitosis. And after Ant, let me see here. Ant.
Body odor.
Was this in February? This was in February 1st. Wow, this was in February 1st. And then like 4 days later was my birthday and I turned 29, but I actually filmed this on the 6th. I was talking about how depressed I was turning 29. Oh my god. And you know, I was out of a job. I was still out of a job. I was still trying to apply for a lot of jobs online. I couldn't find anything, or I didn't really get any callbacks. So that sucked. So I'm just like applying for jobs. I was unemployed. I was 29. I'm reflecting on my life like, damn, I should have got something by now. You see what I'm saying? So it just made me feel very, very sad at the position I was at the moment. What else was happening? I actually have to look at this because this is so fascinating to actually just look back and try to like look through all my videos and try to think about what my mind state was, what I was thinking about at the time, what was I worried about at the time. But I know with when I was turning 29, I was definitely depressed. And not only that, I remember this, another seed that dies. So my car stopped working. For some reason, my car engines just stopped working. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then I had to get my tow truck to tow my truck to some type of like Firestone to get it resolved. And I had to pay like $600 and something, and I didn't have the money. So then I had to get like a credit card for that company in order for it to work, in order for them to do repairs on my car. And even then, there were still a lot of damages done to my car. And I was like, just get the engine to work. And then after that, I did one with Dan. This was a short interview, mainly because like I don't know what happened with Dan. I think he had to leave early because he had to pick up his cousin or something. So it was only like 45 minutes. It was only 45 minutes long. Oh, and now that I see this Saturday Night Hangout, this was, oh, okay, wait a second. So the first time I did the interview with Bruce Leroy, a couple of days later, I had the idea to do a hangout. So after Damn Dan, I did a hangout, the first Saturday Night Hangout. That's so funny.
Welcome, body odor.
And my camera is so trash. My camera is so fucking trash. Oh my god. Oh man.
Hangout.
But this was with
company with one person.
This was with what was her name? Who are these people's name? This was with, what was her name? Oh my god, I think her name was Tamika, or I don't know. Dowdy. Her name was Dowdy. Bruce Lee went and hanged out a little bit. And there was another person. I forgot her name. But, that was pretty awesome. What else? Let's see here. Let's see. And here's another one. Another topic that was really popular was why can't doctors and family members smell us? That was cool. That happened on the 14th. That happened on Valentine's Day. That's hilarious. Oh man, this is so funny. I got a lot of comments from this too. This is so funny. Let me see the recent ones. The reason probably is that the partners, family, and close members really can't smell the other because, like the person with the smell, you get used to it. And doctors have a constant stream of all types of people's problems: smelly babies, vomit, bad breath, old people, dirty people. So they also generally can't smell anything at that time. Someone on another post said to get an idea, if you have a problem and stand in a small room for 20 minutes, go out, smell some fresh laundry, then go back in a small room, and that's what you smell like. Some things to minimize the smell are copper chlorophene, charcoal tablets, laxative, low-dose antibiotics, vitamin B2, acidic soaps, riboflavin, psyllium husk, as well as low choline diet. Alright, 2 weeks ago. Shouts out to Bluebird. So that's all that was happening. And then there was going to be a second one. Ooh. Oh, Kyle Smelioris. After that one, Kyle Smelioris was a thing. And he was the first person. Well, actually, Bruce Lee was the first person that said, yeah, like, PATM. So Kyle Smelioris was the second one. And a lot of people like Kyle Smelioris' interview, too. Hopefully, he's doing well. What else do I have to say? Oh, and then I remember this body order vlog. So I had like 2 interviews I had to do. One of them was going to be a web-related job, but another one was some type of job where it had to do with sales or some stupid shit. And I just went to it because I needed a job, so I had to go downtown. And both of them were like hours apart, so I had to stay. Once I finished one of the interviews, I had to stay downtown for a couple of hours and then do the next interview. And the first interview was something to do with like sales or some stupid shit. So I don't know. Once I got to it and the person was explaining about it, I was like, this shit's fucking stupid. I'm not doing this. So then I had to stay outside in the Bayfront Park area and wait for like hours on end just for the next interview to start. And once that interview started, like I was like, oh shit, I have a chance. I have a chance to get this interview. But then the second one, when I did the second interview with a web developer job, I didn't ace it, and at the same time I could tell that they smelled me, so they just like try to throw me away. And then there's like the Britney interview. I think the Britney interview is like one of the most popular interviews ever that I've ever made, which is surprising. That's crazy. Has only 32 comments. Shouts out to Brittany. Hopefully she's doing well. And then I did the Saturday Night Hangout 2, which was like, it was like really popular. Actually, even though it only has like 962. Even though it only has like 962 views, it still was really, really popular. So that was really amazing. What else happened? Then I had an interview with Max. I know with Max, we were supposed to do it some time ago. I think Max was supposed to be number 6, but then he didn't feel up to doing it. So then later on, we did it. He did it later on or something like that. I know, or maybe it was supposed to be number 5. I know he was supposed to do it earlier, but it just didn't happen, and now he was number 7. And I remember we had to redo the whole thing over. That's just so funny, man. Man, this is gonna be really long. It's already 54 minutes. Well, basically, I wanted to just show you the process, like how long it took me to do all this stuff, like from beginning to end, man. Like how I just was constantly trying to go to different jobs. I was constantly just going to, trying to do interviews. I know with this one, update Saturday Night Hangouts is postponed. This is when I decided to myself, okay, this was probably like 3 months or 4 months after I left the job. I was out of a job. I'm like, I need to get a job real quick. So then I decided to get a security job. And this is when I decided to get a security job. And this is when I decided to do Fiverr, to do freelancing, because I'm like, okay, let me do security, but let me at least try to do like freelancing. And I freelanced with this one guy who was like a high school kid, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll pay you $17 an hour if you just help me work on this project. But then ultimately, to make a long story short, his ass said he didn't like my content and he's not gonna pay me. So then I'm like, fuck this kid, right? There's a long story with that shit too. What else happened? And then this is me the first time I actually was working at the security. I was working at a shopping plaza. Man, there's just so much stuff. I didn't want to make it. Yeah, I actually did want to make it an hour long. Technically, I did want to make it an hour long just to rant about this stuff, because I'm completely missed talking about Amy Brooks. Amy Brooks, and then Ro, and then Tabitha. Oh yeah, she was the one with the halitosis. Yeah, she was the one who was suffering from halitosis. Then it's Tanisha. That's Caramel Gazelle. Then it's Ethan. Technically with Ethan, it was so funny. There was supposed to be somebody that was supposed to do it, but he or she backed out, and I just commented. I spoke to Ethan through email and said, hey, we have an open spot for you if you want to do it. So he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And yeah, that was a very interesting interview. I know a lot of people felt a certain way about it, but shout outs to Ethan. Then it was Net, and this had like a lot of, I don't want to say controversy. It was fairly popular. Raphael, shouts out to Raphael. He was the one, I think he explained, with Raphael, he was the one who explained the situation better than most. I don't want to say he better than most people, but I think he gave more insight what was happening with his life before he had it and then after he had it. And then was Jesus. Jesus was like the first teenager I interviewed, and then I was like questioning if I should continue to do interviews for teenagers. And then after that was Brian Rosales. And then Chrison, I think she was part of Meebo. She contributes to Meebo. Oh yeah, the electronic nose. So with the electronic nose, I don't know. I was like depressed at the time. I was depressed at the time, like what the fuck? Because I was like, what was I eating for my diet? I don't know. I was like eating either like apples, oranges. I was typically eating apples, oranges, sweet potatoes, and I was doing intermittent fasting. Nonetheless, I was still getting bad reactions. I'm like, what the fuck, right? So I'm getting like depressed after like working. After getting off work, I was like depressed, and I was like searching on the internet, and I found this article about this electronic nose that is able to detect smelly odors. So I'm like, oh shit! I was super hyped up. I'm like, oh shit, right? So then I was like, let me just buy this thing. It was this company was from Japan, and they made this electronic nose supposed to detect odors. I bought it. Complete waste of time. It couldn't detect shit. Worst purchase I ever made. But at the same time, like, I was desperate. I was depressed. I wanted to try something. So that's what I did. So yeah, what else was happening at the time? I'm trying to think some other shit. Oh, also within this, body odor vlog number 34. If I can slide my big toe in the door. Okay, so this is also the time I actually did an internship with some type of company. I went to Craigslist or whatever, and yeah, I went to Craigslist, and I just found any type of job offer where they're looking for a web developer, and I said, hey, I'll work for you for free if I can get some experience. And I was just trying to put my foot in the door, and I thought to myself, my logic was, if I continue to work for free and I eventually show that I'm a valuable asset, they'll offer me a position. So that's why I decided to work for free, because I'm like, bro, I can't just be doing the security guard shit for the rest of my life. So I was doing that for 2 months and stuff like that. And it's so funny, like in Body Odor Vlog 38, I was basically talking about how I did get a position, but it was for test automation, junior test automation, and eventually, like a couple of days later, they retracted the offer. So they were gonna pay me $20 an hour, but then they were like, you know what, we decided not to do it. Have a good day type shit. So I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So that's when I got really depressed, and then that's when I actually had to go to like a family reunion, and that was a big thing that happened, but I never really talked about it extensively. Also, this was before that was the day I talked to Maria. A lot of people wanted me to talk to Maria, talk to her, and then like a couple of weeks later, I talked to Jens Lager, who was basically saying that he believed gram-negative bacteria was a contribution to the odor that most of us are having. I think the second interview, or the second part of the interview, was the most valuable because he was talking about steps in order to remove or reduce the odor. Then I had jury duty. When was this? It was 2 months ago, technically, but I think this is in August. Yeah, August 29th, I uploaded it. This is so funny. Oh shit. Got a text message from somebody. It's probably nobody. Hey, did you start working? I want to ask you something. Okay, let me finish this. How long do I have this? Oh shit, it's already an hour. Goddamn. Well, let me just speed all the way past here to. It's important to show information, share information, because this is when I met, like, I actually saw the video of Salvador and the video of Josh's. When I think his original channel was like Cure T-Mal Josh or something like that. And then I did the interview with Salvador, and I was like, damn, I need to share the different things that I noticed that reduce my fecal body odor. And it's only been a month, and I already have like a K for that, so that's amazing. Wow, I have 65 likes. Holy crap. I don't know if this is the most likes I ever got. That's amazing. Megan Lawson. Just in case anyone doesn't know, don't take activated charcoal with any probiotics or any other things. Thank you. I've been suffering for 20 plus years. Well, you're welcome. Like. And let me like this too. So after that, I did one with Josh, and now with the recent ones, I've been doing like kombucha. I just like probiotic tests. Did a success story. At this moment, I guess I still smell bad. I guess I still smell bad, or I still feel like I give off odor. But like, we came a long way, or I came a long way, and it's so fascinating. It's so fascinating to see my progress. Now, to be honest, I don't really think there's too much progress that happened within my life, but you know, I don't know. Shit. I don't know. I guess you know, there was just a lot of stuff that happened, and hopefully this probiotic stuff does work. This food-based probiotic stuff does work. At this moment, is not working as well as I want it to work. But maybe if I just add more different types of probiotics, I'm thinking about buying sauerkraut. Maybe that will help me. I don't know. I tried to speed through this shit because I didn't think it was gonna take this long. But I appreciate anybody for watching it. Salute. Yeah. Have a good day.